Hello, everybody. Welcome to the YINZER Brothers podcast. I'm TJ. I'm here with my brother Tim, and we are the YINZER Bros. Tim is sporting the Franco's Italian Army hard hat because we had an epic victory this week in Vegas. The Steelers are now 4-2, coming off that stellar victory, 32-13 from the Raiders. It wasn't the greatest game they ever played, but Tim, it was darn good. Tim, did you enjoy your Raiders experience?
Oh, yeah, man. It seemed like twice as many Steeler fans out there this time than it was last time. It was like a home game. It was like a home game.
It was nuts. It was totally like a home game. It was amazing. A lot of energy in the place. It's Vegas, so that's going to be whatever. But I'll tell you what, we learned this. Yinzers like to go to Vegas, don't they?
Oh, it was like being in a casino downtown in there, down by the stadium over there. That's what it was like.
That's right. It was like Yinzer Palooza right there, man. It was great. A lot of Yinzers. We had a lot of good times there.
There's a lot of beef. There was a lot of beef pushing around the Vegas Strip. A lot of beef.
Yes, there was. A lot of beef, a lot of black and gold, which for Yinzers, that's our finest. We wear black and gold, the weddings, funerals, state affairs. This is what we do.
Oh, I mean, they're just jerseys galore, jerseys, real jerseys, fake China jerseys, made up jerseys. It was jerseys everywhere.
It was. I'll tell you what, that's the way it should be. Us Yinzers are great. We saw a game. Tim, now just give me a quick overview, your thoughts on the Raider stuff. Give me a couple bright spots for the Raider game for you.
Are you talking just the game, or are you talking like the whole Vegas thing?
The whole experience. What were your bright spots?
My bright spots? I mean, I went on personally. I went on quite a heater on the blackjack table. It was a very, very bright spot.
That's right. Tim did pretty well. He was really good. Which is shocking because usually Tim are usually that good.
No, I'm usually terrible. I felt bad. I think I terrified the Topester. I'm on a heater, and he asked me for some lip balm at the table. And I said, I can't remember what I said. I think I went into a blind rage. I said, if you mess this heater up, I'm going to kill you.
Well, he doesn't know. He's not used to that, Tim. He's not used to that.
He didn't know. I think the game was incredible. I mean, I think when TJ Watt, when we see it with the interception, and he's hyping the crowd up, and it was deafening in that place.
That was ridiculous.
It was crazy. I never seen anything like it.
It was like being in Heinz. All we were missing was Renegade.
I know. That was impressive. I mean, the battle to see who would go to sleep first in our room.
So Tim and I, we were roommates. We shared a room. Let me tell you this, Tim, if you ever have to share a night with Tim comes with a lot of equipment. There's humidifiers, there's masks, there's earplugs. Tim is very particular in how he likes to rest.
Those earplugs did nothing. They did nothing but hurt my ears. That's it.
You know what? Hey, what do you think of that buffet?
I think I actually threw an earplug at you when you were snoring in the middle of the night.
Probably did. We went to a buffet too. It was a big dog buffet. It was $75, all you can eat, crab legs, seafood, prime rib, fillets. That buffet was ridiculous.
I agree, man. But TJ, there are some angles and some pictures that I looked at myself and I go, man, I need to drop like 400 pounds ASAP.
Yeah, we had some beach time, guys, and I was nervous because it's bad when you're at the beach in Vegas at a pool, and the kids are like, does that walrus want to live? Why is he out in the sand?
I mean, I'm stunned that I was able to get in and out of the chair that we had to sit on. It was like watching a buffalo trying to jump on a trampoline. It wasn't fun.
I like watching you scoot off. That was my favorite part. You had to scoot, roll.
I did. I felt like I was. I felt like I was a little kid just learning to walk, and like he was scooting his bum off a blanket or something.
But I'll tell you what, when you were in the water, you were moving very freely, like almost like a manatee, just weightless.
I felt like I was waiting for the dun, 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 and I was waiting for like one Yinzer do like this out of the water and like me just jump over top of them.
It was, dare I say, magical. It was a magical experience. So,
yeah, I mean, it was. You had that. I mean, it was. The sights, the sands of the stadium walk were pretty funny. I mean,
yeah,
the people watching it was a fun time, and it was very, very, very funny. I think I laughed more than anything, and just you feel bad for the Raider fans because they are just they just knew. Like even when the Raiders did something good, you didn't hear them. They were just little whimpers. They're their Raiders.
Even their cheers are
Raiders.
wimpy. It's like Raider. We had a Raider guy behind us, and he'd get a little mouthy for like what 3-4 seconds, and then he had to be quiet the whole game because we were kicking the crap out of him.
It was. I mean, they just. I felt bad. There's a lady sitting next to me. She was a Raider fan, and I mean, it's not a fun situation sitting next to this big oaf to begin with, but it was. Yeah, I couldn't imagine being a Raider fan. It was depressing. I had a great time though. I'll tell you that. It was great.
So, what are some of your takeaways from the game? I mean, I'll tell you what. A couple takeaways I had. Cam, holy crap! For being, he's 182 years old. He is still a force to be reckoned with.
And you don't realize how big he is. I think we got there a little bit earlier looking at warm-ups. He actually looks like a brown bear. Like
he does. He's huge.
He does. Like, I mean, if you put a brown bear next to him, you'd be like, they're brothers. They're like, they're hugging. Like they're the same size.
He's a monster. The defense showed up. I'll tell you what, Queen was fast too.
Queen looked good. I mean, TJ Watt is
he's an alien. He's just
unearthly. He's amazing, insane.
Yeah.
But for me, I mean, I will say this. I think one of the more disappointing things, I mean, Justin Fields, me and you were sitting next to each other. And it was, I think you were seeing the same things I was seeing. Everybody's saying that the receivers can't get open and they can't.
I saw
there was dudes open, man.
Oh, when I say open, like wide open. You know who was open a lot that really surprised me was Calvin Austin.
Yes, he was.
He was open quite a bit. Like there were a few plays Justin just couldn't. Like literally, he just missed guys. It was crazy. I'd never seen it.
I still believe when he threw that interception before the half, they got overturned with the roughing the passer call. If that was the way the half would end, you would have saw Russell coming out in that halftime. He's electric with his legs. He can get you out of so many problems. But when you're seeing him live, and that was my first time seeing him live, and you're watching the whole field. Like I said, there's dudes running everywhere free, and you're kind of going, wow. This is – to me, it kind of I won't say justified, but I wasn't surprised when the move was made this week to go to Russ. I just –
You know what it did too? It gave me confidence in Arthur Smith. His schemes are working. He's getting guys open.
Yes.
So it's the execution. Now, again, he just may have had a bad game too. I don't know, but I saw what you saw. He missed some guys, without a doubt. I don't know, again, what if it's just a bad day or if he just needs to continue to grow as a passer. I do think you saw today one of the big knocks for him is he can't read defenses. So if that first read isn't open, he just goes to check down. And you saw open receivers all over the place. So if Russ can hit those guys, that'd be great.
It was either check down or it was run. I mean, it was either take off. And don't get me wrong, he is electric when he takes off. I mean, electric. You're holding your breath going, this dude at any time could take it to the house. But it was infuriating. Just you're like, dude, there's guys everywhere. Just all you got to do is hit that. I mean, I thought NAJE ran like a monster.
Dude, how on earth does a guy of his size, that move that he gave to shake that guy right to the ground? I mean, that's like me and you giving the move. We were like,
I know,
and the guy he just collapsed.
I know. I was like, he was impressive. And when you see him, you see those guys, I mean, you don't realize how big those dudes are until you're that close and you're like, I don't think I have 4 plays. I don't.
Tim was trying. He was trying to get those in. So
I mean, I had the Watt jersey on. I was doing swims the whole way to the stadium, hoping to get if they needed somebody, I was there. I was like, Coach T, I'm here.
Yeah. And how about Moon coming in on the edge? I think we got him out. I think he was working as a postman the week before with the blocked punt.
Yes, that was to me was like one of the game changers. I mean, I think we were all like, what the heck, Moon? It was but you know what? It was crazy because I still felt I think we were up 14 points, and you just never felt safe. You're like, something's gonna happen.
Tim lives in his fears. He lives in his fears.
You can't tell me you weren't feeling that a little bit when you're sitting back and you're like, man, they're winning by a lot, but you just don't know.
You could tell that. I mean, the Raiders had that first drive, and I was like, "Holy crap, this is going to be a long day." But then we settled in, and you could just tell the defense was just starting to to smother and mess with him so much, and it was like, okay, he's not going to do anything.
Those roughing the passer calls were pretty large. They were pretty large.
We just take what we can. That's all.
They were pretty large, man.
We're not the ref. You know what they got to do though? I'll tell you, this year I can't remember a year ever like this. The refs, they need to deal with the refs. The refs are terrible this year. They're going to ruin the game.
And like you see TJ getting held on TV. It's every play live in person. It's every single play.
It is.
Every play.
He's unblockable, basically. You can't block him. So I think they give grace for that, and then they called ticky-tacky calls. But, hey, we had the victory. The Raiders, it was a good victory. We were a little bit nervous, but we came away with it. So now it's on to the Jets. Who knows what to expect with the Jets? The Jets are 2-4, but let's just be real. They are not a 2-4 team. They get a little bit more under the hood than we think they do. And they added Devontae Adams, who I'm sure magically practiced today. His hamstring's 100% now. It's amazing what a little trip across the U.S. can do for you. I don't know if Mr. Miyagi was in the plane.
Oh, dude,
I don't know what he did.
That would have been the ultimate of heart, like ripping out the heart. If somehow like 17 would have came back, with me on Southwest.
Yeah, because I'm sure he's a Southwest guy.
Yeah, but yeah, I don't know, man. We'll see what happens this week. I'm nervous. This game, I don't got the good feels about this game. I just don't.
We'll have to see what happens. I don't know. But before we get into that, let's look into the Yinzer mailbag. What is the Yinzer mailbag? It's when you, the Yinzer fans, get to ask us anything. If you want to email us, you can email us at yinzerbros@gmail.com, and we will take your email on this international podcast. Tim, what is in the Yinzer mailbag?
We got a new Yinzer. Not only the mush, we got the Smiths writing in a couple questions.
Nice.
For the Yinzer mailbag.
Good.
One of their questions was, hey, if you could bring back any past Steeler team to help the 2004 team, who would you bring back?
Anybody from the past Steeler teams to bring back the 2004 to help us?
Yes.
In their prime?
In their prime.
Big Ben.
Oh, it's not even a shadow of doubt. You bring seven back.
We're a quarterback away from being just ridiculous.
You're bringing seven back. Seven.
Yeah. Who'd be your second choice?
Anybody in Steeler history?
Yeah.
Anybody?
Yeah.
Wow. I would be dumb not to say like Mean Joe Green because I think he's the greatest Steeler player of all time.
He was a force. He was unblockable.
Probably him.
Yeah, he was a force. He was unblockable. I would say Mean Joe Green, and I would say, oh boy, I tell you what, it would be. I wouldn't put him as an all-timer, but boy, he was nasty. Harrison was nasty. You see Harrison and Watt on either sides. What do you do?
To a point. But I'm also
what
staring.
do you do?
I'm also staring at Rod Woodson. 26 would be.
Yeah.
26 would be pretty nice to have that. Opposite of the Peasy.
Yeah.
Little Peasy.
No, I agree. And then you can't. Troy was ridiculous too.
Troy
but Ben to me is a crown jewel. You got to put Ben out there because
you got to prime Ben on this team.
Oh.
I am getting the tingles and the feels all over.
That's true. What else you got in the Yinzer mailbag?
All right. Based on the play of the Steelers thus far, how scared are you us playing the Ravens?
I'll tell you what, Henry looks good, but our defense looks really good. We traditionally played Lamar Jackson very well. The Ravens,
I know.
I think at the very least we're going to split this year. If you split with guys in your division, I think you're okay.
TJ, I'm still terrified of the Cincinnati Bengals. I am. Me and you went at it.
Tim thinks they're a top 5 team in the AFC.
Hence why the pod was not released last week. The Yinzer brothers went for about almost 2 hours. I think the last 45 minutes, me and TJ were yelling at each other about the Cincinnati Bengals and other teams.
And I apologize for that. We had some technical difficulties, so you're not going to get that.
Yeah, maybe we'll bring that out at some point for the what is that? What do they call the bootleg ones or whatever?
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. The bootleg ones.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
What else you got?
So this is different. Like, what is the most ridiculous thing we saw in Vegas?
The most ridiculous thing.
Most ridiculous thing we saw in Vegas.
Other than you getting a massage at the blackjack table, which was pretty ridiculous, too.
That was pretty epic. You got to paint the scenario. It was
pretty ridiculous. Coming down, seeing Tim. Tim was laying there drooling on the table. It was pretty weird. It was really weird. Toby looked at me. He's like, "Is Uncle Tim okay?" I said, "I don't know, son."
I did. I remember. That is one thing that will be etched in my mind is when I caught eye contact with you walking down, and as I has an elbow in the back of my in the back of my back, I was like, yeah, this is gonna be funny.
What is the weirdest thing that you could say that we saw in Vegas? What's weird? I mean, it's Vegas, so imagine what that is. You see a lot of things you don't see in the continental United States,
Oh yeah,
in the
man.
normal United States, you know.
The weirdest thing I saw in Vegas, man. Wowzers.
I mean, I didn't see any like monkeys like on tricycles or anything like that.
No. I'm trying to think of our day at the pool, our day at the walk over. I mean, I think there was a couple topless ladies on the way over.
Yeah, you saw
that was
some
kind
of
of
that,
shocking
which
that I didn't
was
see
a little
before.
weird.
Was a little weird to the game.
That was, you don't see that normally in Wheaton. Do you see that in Wheaton, Tim?
No.
But no, you don't see that in Wheaton.
We didn't see anything like that last time we were in Vegas. That was very weird.
Very clean last time we were there.
That was very weird. I don't think there was anything like staggering weird.
You know what? I'll tell you what surprised me: the amount of rascals that we saw. We saw those motorized scooters everywhere, and those guys, they were flying, whether it was a casino, a buffet. I mean, how many people get run over a day in Vegas by an old person and a rascal? That's got to be pretty high.
I would have killed for one of those rascals. Killed for one of those rascals.
Tim actually thought about hot wiring a rascal and taking that thing out.
I almost thought about taking some fat persons after the buffet, and just because I knew they weren't going to catch up to me if I jumped on the rest.
We did see a dude yakking in a planter. Remember that outside?
That's probably, yeah.
He was yakking in a planter.
He was fairly young, and you could tell he was, and this was early. This wasn't like, this wasn't at the evening. This was like, I don't know, 1 in the afternoon.
Yeah, he was not doing well at all. He was yakking in a planter, and his buddies were like, "Come on, dude, you can do it." And I'm like, he's yakking in a planter, man. There's not much you can do.
The Mush wants to know, how many pounds of protein did the Yinzer Bros consume at the Vegas trip? I mean, the buffet, as you stated,
we were killing it. I mean, we were at least, I started out with 3 plates, so we're talking like, because you guys got to know they had like crab legs and seafood and shrimp and prime rib and everything you can imagine. I want to say conservatively, I was 6 or 7 plates deep.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a picture of me like after eating the whole buffet. They had this big, it looked like a space saucer, and they had like 15 different gelatos, and it just spun around, and I'm just staring at it like it's the eye of God for about 10 minutes going, as I'm stuffed. And put it this way, it was enough of food at that buffet that the sweats happened at some point. Like the sweats happened. It was delicious, but it was like, man, and they posted us. I mean, we could have thrown me with this shoulder, I could have threw a stone right to the crab legs.
We were right there.
It was that close.
We were almost pulled up to right to the buffet thing. I'll say, here'd be a better question, Tim. How many of those little bimbo watermelon things did you eat on that trip? Tim's got this addiction to those bimbo. What are they called? They're bimbo watermelon
gummies.
How many of those you brought what, 6 bags?
TJ, I ate a bag waiting for you guys at the airport.
So how many of those do you think you ate through the weekend?
I had 1 bag when I got home.
So you ate 5 bags.
You know why I have 1 bag?
Did you forget you had it?
No, because before I got on the flight to leave Vegas, I was looking through the pictures, and I caught a picture of me sitting at the blackjack table, and I said, I gotta stop with these bimbos.
Yeah, it's pretty ridiculous.
I mean, I look like a trash can that somebody just put a head on, and I just sat there.
Tim, that's a one-way road to the diabetes. I can say that right now.
I mean, I look like I had a fat suit on.
So we were playing this game pretty much at the pool all weekend. Who's bigger, Uncle Tim, or this guy? And there was a few close calls.
They were picking guys' body types out that you could tell. The guy had at least four toes in the grave. And I'm going, I'm not that big. There was a couple guys that got in the wave pool, the water just over submerged everywhere else. Just poured up. I'm going, I'm not like that, man. But who knows? Yeah. Maybe I am.
Although I got to say this, Tim, I was impressed. Tim shaved everything. So he was looking pretty, as far as your skin, you were looking very svelte.
Dude, yeah, very svelte. I mean, I don't know. I've caught some pictures of me looking at me, and I just, I just
Well,
was
I'm not
like,
talking
man,
like girth. I'm talking like smoothness.
oh, my back was, I mean, it was smooth, but I will tell you, man, I think by Sunday, getting out of the shower and trying to dry off that back, it felt like I got razors just back and forth.
Well, that's the way it goes, Tim.
But it was, yeah, I got to lose some weight. Got to lose some weight. Big time. Whew. So, Mush, you got T. Fields. He had two spectacular passing games versus the Chargers and the Colts, averaging 280 yards a game, only 130 yards in the past 4 games. Is it the consistency on the O line, or is it just Justin with bad reads in his
Yes.
passing?
Justin
I
with
think it's a
bad
little bit
reads.
of. I think it's a little bit of both. The offensive line's beat. Like I was watching a little bit tighter, man. You watch some of the shit. Like Broderick Jones stinks. He's not good.
I know.
I mean, it's
So we
not
gotta give him
good.
some more time to cook. I mean, that's just he's going to be what he is. But it's years. I mean, Dan Moore's looking pretty good.
Dan Moore actually looks pretty good, man. And I
Yeah.
mean, yeah. And I get he has a couple. He wonder how good was Crosby seeing in person? Guy from the Raiders. I thought. I mean, looking at him, I thought he was pretty good, like in live in person.
I
Man.
mean, he was okay, but I mean, who jumped off, off the field more, him or Watt?
Don't get me wrong. TJ's TJ. TJ's but I would love to see that dude opposite side of TJ Watt.
Oh yeah,
That'd be a fun
great.
thing to see.
Yeah, he would be. I mean, he's definitely better than Hightower or Highsmith, excuse me. But he's yeah. I don't know. Let me ask you a question. So let's say that we get rolling in here, and let's say that Russ Wilson does pretty well. Like he does incredible. Let's say against the Jets he throws 4 tutties, and you start to see him methodically two to 4 touchdowns through the
TJ,
rest of the year.
if Russ throws 4 tutties against the Giants or the Jets, you may not even want me back on this podcast because my head's gonna. I may never get my head through this door. I'll be like, Rusty's cooking.
He may be the one we invest in. I don't know if you get 3
I'll-
years out of that guy.
My head will be this big. I'll have a garbage pail size of bimbos, watermelons, and I'll be like, let's let Rusty cook.
Oh, gee. All right. Well, that's it for the Yinzer mailbag. Again, if you'd like to give us something, email us at yinzerbros@gmail.com. And if you're lucky enough, we will get you on this national podcast. Now, on to the Jets. The Jets are 2-4. Again, we're not sure who they are. We know they're better than their record states. Let's start with their offense. I mean, they just picked up Devontae Adams. This is interesting. I don't know if you saw any of the Pittsburgh sports stuff. They actually played a clip from New York radio, and they are livid that they spent all that money on Devontae Adams.
The way the deal is constructed, I would have been a little pissed that Pittsburgh did that deal also. Because to me, I get the 3rd round pick is not that's fine, whatever that they gave up. But taking the contract, I mean, they took everything. Like they didn't have the Raiders didn't have to pay any of that contract. Was wild to me. It was a lot of money. It's wild to me. So,
and we forget too. I mean, he's a great wide receiver. But how old is he? 31.
Dude, who the hell am I kidding, TJ? If he would have been traded to the Steelers for that, I would have been. I'd be like, here we go, Devon. I would have probably went out and bought a 17 jersey. I probably have one on right now. I'd be like, hey.
We'll see. I mean, it's been a few years since they've had the magic.
I don't know, TJ. That gets me nervous that, like, you got Devontae there now. You got Wilson, who's good. I don't know, man. I don't know. They gotta, unless they're getting monster pressure on Aaron Rodgers, he's gonna just. I watched the Raiders go down the field on the Steelers the first drive of the year. I was stunned. I was like, I don't even know half the dudes on their team. I'm going, they're just going right down on the field on this defense. So I'm a little nervous that AR is gonna just carve them up.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, he's about as mobile as a brick, and he's pretty fragile now. You see, he went down a couple weeks ago. I didn't think he was going to get back up.
He doesn't need to be mobile, TJ. His mind is so sharp. He can just
Well,
he can get rid of the balls.
But if you get rid of the quick ones, then Devontae, he's got to make stuff happen.
TJ, we had Dak we had Dak dice us. You don't think Aaron Rodgers can dice us?
Oh no, I think he can. But again, we lost our two. We lost our two outside linebackers in that game too, which created a lot of issues.
I
I don't
get
know.
it.
We'll see. I don't know. So again, how do you think our defense matches up against our offense? I mean, we got good cover guys.
You know what? I don't. And this is weird for me to say. I'm not really. I'm not okay. I'm not concerned. I'm not concerned with Aaron Rodgers dicing us. I'm more concerned with them running the ball down our throats. I really didn't like what I saw too much after that first drive. Man, the Raiders just ran. They ran it down their throats.
Yeah.
So that gets me a little nervous. I don't want to. I'm hoping maybe Highsmith being back kind of
I
helps
think
that.
that'll definitely help. I think we forget how stout he is against the run. They were running away from TJ Watt. I mean, they just were.
Yeah.
So I mean, yeah.
So
What's weird is you forget TJ and Cam are usually on the same side.
true.
At least they were for those things.
And we'll see. I know KZ's been practicing. I think they'll hopefully put him in the game to be more of a, so you can get Minka maybe in the box more and have KZ rank. So I don't know. I am terrified of the run. That's one thing I will say. I'm a little scared of I'm scared of the Jets. Their offense is half decent, man. You took Buffalo to the limit. So
I still don't know who Buffalo is, man. I think there's times every time I'm ready to knight Buffalo as being that next thing, they do something and I'm like, maybe not yet.
I agree.
I got more faith in, be honest with you, I got more faith in Baltimore than I do Buffalo right now.
I'm kind of interested. I'm kind of interested what Buffalo looks like now that they got Amari Cooper. They actually have a receiver that's can get you make his own. He's probably the best route runner in the league, truthfully.
Yeah. I mean, he's a good pickup for them. And again, we got to see which Amari Cooper they're getting now too. These guys are a little bit older now. They're not all the guys that they used to be. But I mean,
TJ, I'm sorry. I saw some clips of him in Cleveland, wide open, and thank God, Deshaun Watson's like the gift that keeps on giving. He's bad. I think Cooper will be. I think he'll be all right. But it is what it is. But going back to the Jets, I'm a little scared of I'm a little scared of their offense. I think that I'm waiting for Minka needs to have something. He's due to have some type of big game, man. Mm-hmm. And I think if he has a big game, I think we'll be all right some point in time. But I don't know, man.
Rodgers had a good game this game. The game before he had 9 points. I mean, it's just weird. I don't know what we're going to see. We'll see. And again, for us to think that Devontae Adams is going to come in first game of the year and light it up without any rust, obviously you're not going to worry about offensive schemes. Those guys have been on the same page forever when they were in Green Bay, but I think it won't be as much of a done deal as we think it is.
I don't know, man. I just remember 17 in Vegas last year.
Oh, he killed us last year in Vegas.
I mean, he had a million yards. You couldn't cover him.
Yeah, he killed us last year. Let's flip it over. Let's talk about the Jets defense. How do they match up against our offense? Obviously, they got cover guys. I mean, hello.
They got cover. I think their
run game. We could run on them. I think their run game could be. If we're beat up on the O-line, but I think we can run on them.
We'll see.
Tim,
I
living in his fears.
I just the line's beat up, dude. You got a kid that's playing center, and their main dude is a defensive tackle. That's ginormous. That's a game shifter. It needs to be lined up against needs to be head up on that center all game. So it gets me a little nervous that he's going to be living in the backfield. But like you said, they're outside dudes. They got two good corners. I don't know, man. To me, this is going to be crazy to say because I know this game would set up better for Justin than it would for Russ.
Yeah, because of his legs.
Because of his legs. That's just me. Because you could at least, if you had Justin there, you could compromise maybe those D-backs a little bit to come off guys. Because if he's going to take off to make that decision, you may have some open pockets here and there. But I don't know. We'll see. I'm hoping. I just have no faith that I'm going to see 15 Russ running around like I don't know if it's, like Russ used to. I don't know, man.
It'll be interesting to see if he can hit these open receivers. I would think that they're going to have open receivers. The guys that stood out to me the most, it wasn't like Pickens and those guys. To see Austin running free, he really surprised me how open he was. even Fryermuth and those guys, getting the ball to those guys down the field's a big deal. And again, it's just a reverse thing now. Now, if you get the ball to those guys down the field, then maybe we can run the ball in reverse order. And I don't think it's just going to be Russ. I think you'll still see Fields. If Russ does get the start, it'll just be in key situations. The nice thing about Fields is this: when you put him in, he's not just a pure runner. He can still throw the ball.
I don't disagree with you. I
pray to God they don't do that fumble Ruski, thing that they did or whatever. That flea flicker was terrible.
But that was the worst play call I've ever seen in my life. It felt like that when you saw that live. It felt like the play was going in slow motion. I was like, what? But I'm kind of curious to see if they get in the red zone. Are they actually going to take Russ out and put Fields in the red zone? That's one thing I'm kind of curious about.
Russ is so good in the red zone.
I know. So, but Fields he gets in that. You get in that 10-yard. You saw it in Vegas, dude. He made 2 plays with his leg. He scored 2 touchdowns with his legs that just weren't. Russ ain't doing that, dude.
No. Well, can you see? Curious. I mean, how cool would it be? Russ is doing some stuff, and then you get a series of Fields. I mean, you can't. They're completely different quarterbacks. So, I mean, it's a different ball game. I don't know. Who knows what they'll do? It's weird.
You
don't see that in the NFL as much, but you'll see it in college every once in a while. But who knows? So, what's your score prediction?
I don't feel great about this game. I think the Steelers are going to lose 23-13.
23-13. I think you're going to see more of the Arthur Smith offense. I think he's going to surprise us. And I think it's going to be a shootout. I think it's going to be 30-27, and I'm going to give the nod to the Steelers.
Wow.
I'm chalking up. Devontae has not played it down this whole year. And you can't, football's a game, you can't just turn it on. And he's 30, 31, 32. So I'm even thinking things like stamina. I'm thinking how much of the game is he going to be able to play?
I think that's the way my brain thinks about me every day.
To think that he's going to get heavy snap counts is just ridiculous. He's not in game shape. You can be on a bike all you want.
TJ, he is a professional athlete. He'll be fine.
You get that, but there's something about playing against guys, man. You got to play a game with your pads on, and you got. Now I understand he's a route runner and all that stuff, but you have to. But here's reality too. I mean, who else is making his first start of the season is Russ. So I don't know what he's going to be like either.
Yeah, TJ, I know. That's what I got a little nervous about. I'll tell you right now. I have this weird image in my head of the 4th sack in the first half, and I'm ready to chuck my remote through the TV. Be like, Russ, So
who could have a big game? Again, if we're going to find out again about Pickens. I think when Pickens is at the top of his game, he's uncoverable. And you got a guy like Russ that throws a great deep ball. You get him uncoverable once or twice. That could be the whole thing. Of the
TJ,
game.
you are going probably against one of the top 3 corners in the game. He's probably
I get it,
match up against them.
When you've seen George play, tell me somebody in the league that you think can completely shut him down. I think he's a talent to you know what? You can do whatever you want to do. When he's dialed in and on, I think he can beat anybody in the league. I just do. I put him in a category. Maybe there might be 4 wide receivers in the NFL I put in that category. There's something about him when he's on. He can jump. He can catch anything. He's big. He reminds me of Randy Moss. He just looks like him. It's just crazy.
See, man. Sauce is a tough matchup, man. He's a tough matchup.
I agree. I just think, you know what? He just, we'll see. I don't know.
For me, if the Steelers somehow get this game, I got a feeling Jaylen Warren's going to have a big game if they do. I don't know why. I just have a feeling that when you see Russ play, he is a typical, if it's not there, check it down type of dude. And I have a feeling Warren's going to be in a lot of plays. You think those check downs, and he's going to have a monster game through that area. But I just don't think it's going to be enough. I don't think they're going to score enough touchdowns. I just don't. I don't know.
The defense is going to have to show up. We're going to see how good Jackson and how good Peasy are.
I agree, dude. I mean, this is a game that if I'm the Steelers, I'm saying, you know what, dude, Peasy, go shadow Devontae Adams. Go do it. Don't play this, whatever side. Go shadow him. See what happens.
Yep.
It seems like anytime Peasy gets when he's playing somebody he's supposed to be good, he plays better.
He does. Yeah, he does.
So I just say, hey, go take that assignment, take him out of the game, and hopefully, I mean, hold your breath that the other dude can cover.
Well, Jackson has been. I mean, he's been
good.
close to
He has been
lights out
good
too, man.
He has been good.
Though I think Jackson. I would say this: Jackson and Peasy are in the top 3 combinations for corners in the league.
I don't know if I'm gonna go that far. Peasy's ratings are pretty brutal this year on PFF.
I mean, but Jackson's ratings are like off the
He's
chart.
been very good. He's been very good.
I think he's ranked second. I think in the league against for QB average against, which is pretty ridiculous. I mean, I know that we're missing Deontay, but I'll tell you what,
when's Trice coming back?
I don't think he'll be back this week. There's a chance he'll be back this week, but he'll definitely be back next week.
They're missing him big time, man.
They are. You get him back, and again, we should have HIGHSMITH back this week, and then the week after we should get. I
think Herbert. They'll wait till after the bye, which I'm cool with. That's fine.
Yeah, it's a good bye. Then after the bye, we get Sutton back,
and we would get hopefully our center back after that bye also. So I don't know. We'll see. And I'm hoping they get a nice receiver. And I'm hoping it ain't Mike Williams because that dude I do not want on this team.
No,
he's the same thing. He's the same thing as Pickens.
Yeah. I like that kid from Jacksonville. I wonder if we can pick him up.
TJ, the more I keep thinking about this, I like Adam Thielen.
But he's old.
TJ, I understand. Dude,
he's cheap, but he's old.
TJ, he caught like 80 balls last year for over 1,000 yards.
Yeah.
He's the guy that you need. You need the route runner out. You need that route runner tech, and he is. I don't give it. You ain't talking about keeping him for. There's no receiver right now that you're going to get. Unless somehow you can pull Cooper Kupp out of the sky.
That'd be ridiculous.
It would be ridiculous, but somehow that gets pulled out of the sky. If it's somebody that's for a year, then you go.
What about Metcalf? What are your thoughts? Is he's the same thing as Pickens, or?
Yeah, to me, somebody said, one of my buddies said to me that I feel like him and Pickens are like 2 battleships that can't turn. You know what I mean? They're good straight, and I think. But he's young.
We need a good route runner. We do.
To me, I think you need that good route runner that can create his own thing. And I like Thielen. And to me, at least for a year, you bring some stability to that wide receiver room with somebody that's a vet. You're going to be like, hey, you guys stop acting like knuckleheads. So if you're talking for this year, you got him for 1 year. He's cheap, and I think that would be a good pickup. That's just me, but
no, I think
you're right. Time, the guy from Jacksonville's he's a slot dude, TJ. So you have 3 slot dudes now. So I'm like, I don't know. So to me, you need somebody on the outside, and I love DK. I think it'd be a lot, but it's Cooper Kupp would be the ultimate because he's just route technician, beautiful. But
what's the Rams' record this year?
They're not very good. They're like 1 or 2 and whatever, dude. It just
depends. Maybe they'll be selling. Who knows?
I don't know, but he would be somebody that I would grab up in 2 seconds, man. So
we'll find out. When's the trade deadline done?
You got about a month.
Okay. Yeah, maybe we'll see what happens. Let's hope Omar is cooking. I was hoping Devontae would be here, but I had a pretty good guess he wasn't going to be here because of his relationship with Aaron.
Yeah, I agree too. The one that shocked me, I didn't think Cooper would be moved, and I don't think there was a guy. Cooper would have been perfect for the Steelers, TJ. But I don't think there's no way. There's no way the Cleveland was going to go with us, but
no.
I don't know.
All right. So that's it for the YINZER Bros this week. Again, if you like what you hear, share the podcast with everybody that loves podcasts. I'm TJ. I'm here with my brother Tim, and we are the YINZER Bros. Stay classy, Pittsburgh.
Still number 1 out here, right?
See ya.